Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day. I just finished watching the latest episode of Lower Decks, A Farewell to Farms. And this is really an interesting one because there are two plots, and one is my favorite so far of this season, and the other is my least favorite so far of the season. So a bit of an odd dichotomy with this episode. To start off, I really enjoyed the intro. I think this was the best intro sequence to an episode so far this season. I do like with the Klingon farm and the music and the general tone of the intro. I thought just really set an interesting mood, and I enjoyed what that invoked. And setting up what the part of the episode that I really enjoyed, the whole Klingon aspect, and a lot of the humor coming from some interesting references and deep cuts with a lot of Klingon vocabulary and things that were really fun, but you didn't necessarily have to understand all those because the bulk of it was poking fun at the intricate system of Klingon rituals and the minutiae of Klingon bureaucracy, and it was really fun, and setting that to a backdrop of helping a Klingon who has lost his way and is stuck working on the family farm, not getting along with his brother, helping him regain his honor and his captaincy and his wanting to find honor for himself by serving aboard a starship, by being amongst the stars, and all relating to a Mariner and Boimler connection with them, as well as they move through the trials of a Klingon Oversight Council. And just the whole thing I thought was a perfect blend of humor and silliness without going too far in that direction, and maintaining a lot of very Star Trek elements with the Klingon aspect. So I thought that was handled very well, and I found it very enjoyable. And we get our little hints of what is going to be the big encroaching climax for this season, definitely building up with the rifts in space, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes along. So overall, I really liked that element of the episode. It was my favorite thing so far this season. And of course, we see the funny evolution of Boimler trying to be more confident along with the growth of his facial hair. And that's kind of a funny journey along the way as he fills out more with his mustache and budding beard as he gains more confidence in himself, and it's a funny little sight gag to go along with the growth of the character. The side story that I was not into, and partially because this is where, Lower Decks to me, while I really enjoy it, occasionally the humor goes into a direction that is just, it's not my style. Like overall, like anything with Peanut Hamper, I just found to be obnoxious and annoying, and I love humor in my Trek. I'm much more of a serious Trekkie, and I like when the humor is more balanced and not quite as over the top like Rick and Morty, or like even like South Park. And Lower Decks sometimes goes into that territory, and for me, this episode, the side story with the Cloacans, went that direction. Dr. Migleemo is already just a character that I've never really liked. Like, that humor about anything surrounding him is just not to my taste. So that's just, it's not a quality of writing issue, but more of just not to my taste. And so I wasn't into the storyline at all with the food critic element of his culture. It was all a little too silly for me, and it just was a part that I did not find enjoyable, while I was then enjoying the main plot with the Klingon element. So it's a weird episode for me in that it is a mix of my favorite and least favorite so far this season. But I'd love to hear what you thought about the episode. I'm looking forward to next week. And if you've been following along, we're still going through my top 50 favorite Star Trek characters. So go ahead and check those out if you're not caught up with them, and I'll see you again.